Hey there, my friends. I've had a lot of clients talk about, I need some more motivation this week. So I want to offer some insights and potentially some different ways to think about when you land in that place of, I need more motivation. So some things I can offer you, some ways to think about this differently. The first one is that humans take action for one of two reasons. We're either going to be pushed by pain or we're going to be pulled by pleasure. And there's nothing wrong with initially taking action because you're being pushed by pain. So people come see us because, there's pain of being overweight, there's pain of diabetes, of insulin resistance, of PCOS, of whatever it is. There's some kind of pain that pushes you or drives you into making change. There's a shift that happens in someone's journey because, if you know by now, I focus entirely on habit and behavior change, changing how we think and what we do to create sustainable change, specifically in our health. And so there's a shift that happens in our journey that has to happen and will happen on someone's path. Even though you come in being pushed by some kind of pain, that shift that happens to being pulled by pleasure is, instead of using the motivation and the willpower, which we need. There's a quote that says motivation and willpower gets us started and habits keep us going. At some point, we have to want to feel good more than we want our goal. At some point, it's going to shift for you. And you're going to have to, it's going to come naturally, I'm not saying force it. You're going to feel good more than you want your goal. And because of that state alone, your goal will become a side effect, a wonderful side effect of you wanting to feel good. And that's when the game changes. That's when, instead of being pushed by pain, you are pulled by pleasure. And that pleasure is feeling good. Sometimes we just don't know how good we can feel till we feel that good. And as someone continues to make changes to their health, they feel better and better. And that does snowball. So know that we prioritizing feeling good and wanting feeling good more than we want our goal, it's coming. You just want to continue the current steps that you're taking. And the last thought redirect, last thought reframe I want to offer you is this. When you just keep taking the steps, you need to keep going. You have to remember one important thing is that your step, your action has to meet your level of resistance. Your action has to meet your level of resistance. For example, I'm just going to make this up. Let's pretend for a second. Let's pretend that you went on Whole30 diet, a year ago, and you had a lot of results and you felt really good. And this time you try and implement that same thing. And you're meeting just a lot of frustration and a lot of resistance, and you seem to just can't get yourself to do it this time. Like, where's my motivation, right? You are strong enough and you do have enough willpower. It's not that. So you can put beating yourself up to the side for just a moment and understand that we change and our resistance changes. Goldilocks rule says not too hard, not too easy, just right for me. And I don't live in your heart, mind, and body, so I don't know what's just right for you, but you do. And that's your resistance. And your resistance level has probably just increased to that Whole30, and therefore Whole30 is no longer the correct tool for this very moment. And what will happen when you start matching the tools that you're taking, the tools you're using, whether it be Whole30, tracking your food, and your action steps, tools and actions. When your tools and actions match your level of resistance because you're being honest with yourself, you're going to start to develop self-confidence and self-trust and self-belief. And as you do that, what will happen is you're going to keep reducing your resistance further and further, and you're going to be able to take bigger and bigger steps, yielding a bigger and bigger result. There's no big and small is relative, right? So, if you want the weight loss, like a lot of my clients, you're just banging your head against the wall. You got to do the certain things. You got to take the smaller steps before you can take the bigger steps, because you got to build that foundation first. It's kind of like you just got to build street cred with yourself, period. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. We're commonly inundated in our world with how we think things should go and what we should do and what tools we should pick up. But so much of this process is about self-trust and self-belief and paving your own path. So those are just the tools I wanted to offer you today around potentially if you're feeling like you are lacking motivation. So I hope that was helpful in some meaningful way for you today.